Hello everybody, today trade cap for February 17th, 2026, and today I took 3 trades, right? So today I made a very big mistake, probably gonna put in the title, but ended up accidentally playing Amazon instead of AMD, so I'll talk about that. But this video will have a lot of information, right? Simply off price action, key levels, bearish market structure, pretty much how you get entries and exits in the markets. So yeah. Also, I've been thinking of also trying to trade futures recently. I might also open some futures account just because like I'm an addict at this point. Like, I love trading. But yeah, so let's get into the video. So yeah, so as usual, right? We want to see what the market's doing the first 5 minutes. Let me turn my light on actually, bro. It's actually dark as hell. So we want to see what we're doing the first 5 minutes of market open as usual, right? Where we're opening up in our on the QQQ and SPY, where we're opening up in range, if we're opening above key levels or below key levels, right? Right. So as you can see on SPY, we're opening up in our previous day's range. So like you can't really expect anything until we break above or below key levels. So what I was trying to see is if we're breaking below, right? Pretty much our pre-market low. I want to see is kind of gravitate towards that pre-market low, previously low to short names, and also if we can get above our 5 minute range high or previous day close, essentially the 6A2 level. I would also look for the longest name back up to previous high level, right? So those are two options we have, but we're not showing extreme. We're not showing very bullish market structure or bearish market structure, right? We're a little bit bearish just on the hard time frame alone, right? If you look at the hard time frame, right, we're simply just rejecting, right, all-time highs area, and we're just looking bearish. So a little bit more bearish bias for the day, and that's kind of the move we had in the first 30 minutes. So yeah. So today I took 3 trades, 2 on Tesla, 1 on Amazon. It was supposed to be AMD, but that was the kind of the mistake I made today. So I was trying to take AMD, right? Even called it a Discord server. Um, in AMD puts and then ended up changing to Amazon, but I fucking bought the wrong name, right? If you guys know how I trade, you guys understand pretty much why I would trade AMD over to Amazon, right? This name is way more weak, way more cleaner price action, way more bearish, right? Very strong break below 200 key level. We're already below our previous say high level. We rejected our pre-market high level, so a lot of bearish call influences on his name compared to Amazon. Don't get me wrong, Amazon could end up playing out beautifully, but AMD just looked better intraday, right? And as an options trader, you have to understand that the name that you pick to trade matters a lot, right? Like especially when you have all these tech names to trade, right? The edge that I have, right, that is kind of hard to teach people is that I know which name to trade over other names because I know which name is weaker, a higher time frame, intraday, relative to QQQ and SPY, right? That's the edge that I have as an options trader, right? That's pretty much the edge that I know I have, right? So the name you pick is pretty much make or breaks you as a trader long term easily, or makes you profitable or not, right? That's why like some traders find it easy to trade QQQ and SPY, and if that's you, that's you. But I like trading tech names, just because I feel like I have an edge on tech names, and when I do get the move right, I get cleaner price action. Simple as that. So yeah, so simply wanted to play AMD off this just bearish price action, plus QQ spiral at low of day, plus we had the strong bearish price action under that 200 key level. So simply want to play puts, right, would have entered puts right here, stop loss above that key level, and then just want to see momentum to the downside, but ended up playing Amazon puts right off this area, stop loss when I did enter would have been above this previous high level, then TP down here. We ended up having a nice move on AMD, or not a nice move, but they had some downside move. So it did take terms off low of day and ended up having my stop loss break even, but somehow this trade still ended up being red. So I guess when we had that big upside move, I still probably had some slippage. So you know what? I'll just take the loss, bro. I don't even give a shit. Like that is just a very unfortunate loss. Would have been up a lot of money on AMD, easily more $2,000. So it is what it is. It is what it is, right? As long as you can manage your risk, you can afford to make these mistakes sometimes, right? So that was the first trade. Second trade on Tesla, right? I saw QQ Spy setting back up again for that low of day break. So if I do this and do Tesla, right? If you open up Tesla, so if you look on QQ and SPY, right? Tesla is weaker than QQ and SPY. Why? Because look over here. So if you can kind of see us on a higher time frame, we're below our previous low and pre-market low already, right? At this area, while QQ and SPY are now breaking our previous low and pre-market low all the way down here at 9 o'clock. So Tesla is for sure more bearish than QQ and SPY, so I want to also trade this name. So there's a lot of names that are very good, right, to trade. Tesla, AMD, right? These names are very good because they're already below key levels, whereas QQ and SPY have that room down to those key levels. So you can kind of like have the trade. Entering these trades knowing that QQ and SPY have that room down. So you have that like confluence with it. So entered puts, right, simply off this break and retest of this fair value gap, right? Plus this 404 level. So pretty much just kind of want to see us kind of saw us use previously shows reaction was fair value gap right here. We came back, showed bearish price action, and could not get the entry the first time. So entry for the second time, my stop loss simply be above this fair value gap, right? Nothing too crazy. Um, Simply just want to see us show bearish price action. So we had a nice move to the downside, nice low of daybreak, and this trade, right? I managed it very poorly. I won't even lie. So after that, taking that Amazon loss, I was actually kind of like I was livid, bro. I wasn't livid, but like I kind of wanted to see a bigger move to the downside on Tesla, but I wanted to take my trims here at this kind of 4-2 break. We never got that clean break, so I never took my trims, right? So I never took my full position off, right? So I think did take some trails off down here, right? But I kind of want to see my actual position, right? My bigger positions off 20, 30, 40% off, kind of at these lows down here, right? But we ended up never actually breaking these lows, ended up being stopped out. So I did take, yeah, I know. So I ended up taking another loss on that name right there. So as you guys can kind of see, right? Like I'm having on some of these losses, like I'm having the right thesis, I'm having anything right, but I'm still losing. So like you kind of can see like you can be right and still be wrong. You know, so you can still be right and still be right in the trade because I managed it poorly, and I know I managed it poorly because I kind of want that bigger move to overwrite my AMD potential gains, right? Because I technically like in my back of my mind lost $2,000, right? Even though I actually didn't, but like I would have gained $2,000, right? So I kind of wanted to see that bigger move so I can make more money, but I ended up getting stopped out at that reversal. So that was unfortunate, right? And at this, when I got stopped, I think I got stopped at break even at this candle. So I got stopped at break even right around here. But I did end up re-entering Tesla, right? Once we got back below this 402 level, right? Previous resistance now turned into support, right? Previous support turned down to resistance. So I saw us kind of now having a nice break and retest at this level. So I knew I could enter puts here, stop loss simply above this 402 level, and kind of want to see us push to these lows right here. And the main reason I took this trade was simply because QQ and SPY were also bearish, right? So QQ and SPY at this point was over here. So I kind of want to see us show this price action kind of make us break these new lows on QQ and SPY, which you actually ended up doing, right? So if you look at this 920 over here 920, so we end up like having that push to low down SPY QQ, but Tesla has had no juice, right? Tesla just choppy as hell, and I knew it was choppy as hell, right? I kind of called out multiple times. And look at this price action, it was just horrendous, and I kind of knew it was horrendous kind of after we kind of rejected this area 4 times. So after we had this nice breakdown here, I took out 90% of my position, and the rest of my position was at break even. So that's why the P&L is actually a little bit better straight. So you have to understand when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive, when to trim, when not to trim, right? Just depending on price action and what the context is of the markets. What the hell? Hmm. Some news. Some news came out right now on Spy, right? For sure. Some news came out. So yeah, so that's pretty sure cap, right? I'm trying to see what this news is. Maybe I can take a trade. Like not a trade, but a lotto, because I don't really take trades this late. What the fuck? Yeah, 100%, 100% with news. But yeah, so that's my trade cap for today, guys. Um, hmm. But yeah, no. So that's for trade cap. I'll call it a day here. Okay day, right? Unfortunate losses. Yeah, no, we're recovering nicely though from these lows. So now we can end up actually looking to long names if we can close kind of bullish here tomorrow on QQ and SPY. But yeah, that's for trade cap. Yeah, peace.